Hi guys, thank you for joining me. So today I have a sale going on and I'm giving it away. It's super cheap because I have so much, my shelf is filling up, and I don't personally journal yet. I need to. And I have so much stuff and I just thought somebody might appreciate it or use it or want it, okay? So there are a couple things I'm keeping, but the rest of it I can give away. It's okay. And this is all the stuff you've seen me make for Decorate Your Life. My term with them ended and I just don't feel a need to keep it. I just made all I could for them, and then I was like, okay, that's probably enough, you know? So they didn't say I couldn't, so I'm selling it. And I loved working with them. Y'all know I loved working with them. I learned a lot, but I have so much stuff that I don't need it. And I'm pricing it super cheap. You know, and these are the only two things I'm keeping. Is my mini unicorn book. You know I love it so much. And my country red, it's my second country red journal, but I went back to the first. And I just love this journal, and it was the start of my working with them. I won this collection, and this was the start of me working with them. And I like this journal. I like the stuff I did in it. I had fun with it, and I'm keeping it. Okay? But there are some things that I'm okay with letting go. And I'm only selling these, get this guys, true story, $10 a piece. That's all. Plus shipping. And shipping will be about $10, depending on how many things you buy, you know? And then we can talk about shipping. You know, it would be combined. This is I think the second thing I made, but it's a different kind of book. I say it doesn't have a spine, doesn't have a cover, because the cover's the same as the pages, and it doesn't have signatures, but it does have plenty of writing space. And I will link my Decorate Your Life playlist if you want to see the initial walkthrough of any of these. But this does have enough writing space to be considered a journal. Okay? I need to put something on there because I've had yellow sunflower or flower Post-its, but they were getting hung up on this. So I will probably just glue down one of these doilies or something to the cover of that. Okay? Because I need to cover it up. Or I have a piece of, well, purple doesn't match. But it was getting hung up on this when the pages were. When I turned it, look how pretty this is. I love that that bow. And then I used paper in here, and I punched some of them with the punch. This was Looky Lou's idea. I used one of her smart moments, and I made a shank button into a decorated paper clip. There's flip outs that are like an accordion. Here's another one. But, you know, the paper I got was free. So I'm really just charging $10 for my supplies. Like this one, I used a lot of nice trim and pieces in it. And I've had to buy glue like 3 or 4 times for this. You know, so if I could make up a little bit of what I put in it. This button was my mother's, you know. So I am charging just a little bit just for my supplies. Okay? And my work, you know. This is an album. It was Dahlia's tutorial I followed, and they all have inserts. And then, like, that's my whale tail tab I designed. There's one. I used lots and lots of paper, of my own paper in this. And so it's just an adorable album. And like I said, I'm only charging $10 for all of it. And all of this, I used lots of my own paper. And this was a couple days work, you know. So there's a waterfall, there's, you know, pockets. Dahlia does a lovely tutorial on all of this. Look how big it is. And there's a lot in that. That is an amazing album. Her tutorial's great. My sister just made one too. Sometimes her paper's hard to work with because it's either 8x8, which, you know, you've got to make a short fat journal and do something different, right? Or if it's 8.5 by 11 portrait, well then, this has an elastic band on it. Then you've got to make a super tall skinny journal, you know, which is different, right? This is subtle, but I did use this real light pretty pink ink I used on it, on everything. And I used one of our placemats to make a folder. I made little books, cute. And there's just, you know, just assortment of stuff. I made those for the first time. I got some in Temu and I tried to make them. I put my lines on this in blue. There's just yellow paper. Here's, you know, just a little notebook. Or the back. That's that. And this is cute. Pink index cards. I did a lot of fussy cutting on this. It came with a kit. I believe if you buy it, it comes cut. And then if you don't, or if you're on the team or whatever, it doesn't come cut for you. Which is fine. I love fussy cutting. So, and this is cute. I did a accordion thing there. And one of my tabs. This was one of the pages I didn't want to fold, so then I just turned it around and put it in the middle of the signature. And I thought that was pretty effective. To still, I didn't ever want to chop up her designs, you know. But some of this stuff, it didn't matter if it was folded. You know, it still looked pretty and didn't disturb something. But since that was a truck and stuff, I didn't want to fold it in half, you know. Some of them, the whole page was a story, and some of them, it was just half a story, and it was okay to fold. And then, it's all the same, and it's 2 signatures. Those are cool. Those are dot grid index cards I just found. Here's a flip out. Here's an envelope. Here's the rest of the folder. In the back of the folder. There's the bookmark. And I sewed around all of this. And here's another tip out thing. I thought it was cute. So I did it again. And I have full videos on all these if you want to see them. There's more dot grid. That's resume paper. Here's a little booklet with graph paper, and I sewed around that. Here's another corner paper clip that I made. Here's a little, just a flip out with just cute little notepad in it. Matchbook, right? Is that what they call it? And see, here's that other one that I didn't want to tear up. Here, you know, her colors, pink, yellow, and blue, made sense. So I put those and put a pretty bow on it. I made that bow, actually. I didn't put it on it. So this one's pretty. I was proud of this one. And that's a couple of tags, and it has cute Brad. Connect, create, inspire, connect. But, I mean, I love all of this stuff. I just really don't need a shelf full of it, you know. And that's why I'm only selling it for $10. This is a folder I made. I have a ledger 11 by 17 cardstock. So I just made it. And then here is a writing board. This is her fabric, pastel fabric paper. And then I just wrapped it around a tab part of a file folder. And then, like, this lumpy stuff, like here's a paper clip, right? Or that, or whatever. So let's say you're going to write on this side. And then, or, you know, this. Or you need help, you know, spreading this out. Or whatever. But it's just a writing board to help you. Like, this is pretty lumpy. It's just, you can use it where you need to. Just to get a smooth surface, to smooth out the lumps, so you can still write well in it. And I got that idea from Hobonichi, and I pretty well do it for all journals, okay? And this was just a flap. Instead of cutting it off, I just made it a flap. Now, a lot of these things aren't perfect. You might see, you know, a little bit of glue here, a little bit of something there. You know, a lot of this was my first try. That's why I'm not charging more, too. But, I mean, they're plenty nice, okay? Up close, they look great. But some of it was my first try. Okay, this was, like I said, sometimes her stuff is hard to work with because of the size. It's not our traditional, you know, letter-sized landscape. You know, it's portrait. And, you know, unless you're going to make a tall, skinny journal, which that's a beef of a tall journal, right? Compared to this one, you know, that's a big journal. And like I said, her letter stuff, some of her pages are hard to work with, but I think I pulled it off. And I was actually pretty much running out of ideas too. So, this is just the cover. This is another album. And there's a tuck spot. There's a tuck spot. I used a lot of my own paper in this. And then this is her summer days, maybe? Yes. And see, it was letter, and I didn't know what to do with it. It was portrait, letter-size portrait. So then I had the idea to make another album and then just put half of the page on top and half of the page on bottom so it still didn't disturb her image. And I think it's really successful. And they all have insert. I sewed around them. There's pockets, you know. And they all have, there's my tab divider that I designed. They all have tuck spots. And I didn't disturb her image. These are some envelopes I made. And there's a pretty tuck spot. She had a lot of cut aparts in this. But see, I didn't disturb her image. There's a tuck spot. Some of the edges here got, you know, I cleaned them up with washi. You know, just to clean them up. Like I said, this is my first try on some of this, you know. They all have pockets with different papers of my own papers. And they're two-sided. Okay? And I sewed them all. And all of that was my own paper, too. Like all of this is my own paper. And, but see, like they're not perfect. Like I don't know why that got wrinkled. I guess it's from gluing that down and then maybe I sewed it and stuck it in the pocket instead of let it dry or something, you know. So that's why I'm not charging more for these. Here's another envelope. These two were cute. I did, 2 of her cutter parts, but see how I sized them so they're like overlapping? I thought that was cute. And then they go in there. But I really thought that was cute. But I mean, I did do a nice job on these. But like I said, they're not perfect. They're not like a professional made them. You will see, you know, like this. I probably could have cleaned that layer up. Or put this finished piece on top instead of underneath. You know, there's some little corners here and there that I'm not crazy about. But again, I used Dahlia's tutorial on this. And this one I didn't space as far apart because I knew I wasn't going to have like lots of stuff on the, you know, like she had pockets and all kinds of stuff on every page and needed the more room. So then these I put closer together. And I guess I need to tell you the names of these. This was another one, like the first one, like an album without a cover, without a spine, without signatures. And again, I'm on top of each of these, I just put a notebook. And at first I had the notebooks all sized to go that way, but then I wanted to use a pull tab. So I used one of my, whale tail tab. But then I just glued it to the front and the back. Oh, that's the front. But I glued it to the front and the back so it still opens. You know? But it's still like a pull tab. So then I made all of those for the pocket. Just with different papers and some envelopes. But like, see, this is my own stuff. And I believe this is my own paper. You know, so I made a waterfall. But this is her Fairies and Butterflies collection. This is an envelope. I made an extra big envelope. And this is some of my paper. And this is dot grid paper inside. And then my cut apart on there. See, I used all of these. I believe these were from Botanical Gardens, Echo Park Botanical Gardens. That's my favorite kit. So some of these have a big envelope in them and a notebook in them. Here's Fairies and Butterflies and more stickers. And then this is a little half page. And see, that's my own paper. This is my own paper. This was some leftover rainbow colored pastel papers that I used to finish that notebook. This again is her Fairies and Butterflies, and like I said, I never wanted to disturb her image, you know, so I tried to keep her image whole, which means you've got to get creative for journals. Look how pretty that is. Didn't that match nicely? And then that's just notebook paper. Okay, and you could add more stuff to these pockets too. So here's another note. This was just a kind of a filler page. So then I guess I felt better about covering some of that up. Here is a side pocket. And it's got, I think these are just pages. You know, I didn't make it into anything. But like here, it looks like I wiped some glue with a pad and then it blotched the blue a little bit, which I could put something on it, or you can, you know. Like I said, they're not 1000% perfect. Here's another notebook. Isn't that pretty? And this one has dot grid. And then this is another envelope. Okay. And then, let's see. There. And that's the back. And then this is some lace I glued around the front. Isn't that pretty? And I think that was about the last of that lace. But like I said, on these I'm only charging $10 because I used a lot of my own supplies. Anybody remember this? Paper bag with all these silly buttons. That were my mom's. And then this is a paper bag journal. I've got a video on it, and you can see it still expands. Isn't that fun? It's got like an accordion spine. This is her Sweet Tooth collection or something. And then each one, I put a signature in between each one. This was when I learned to put a little bit of lace behind a tab. They all have a page inside. And then I made tabs just out of scraps, and then I put a piece of lace behind them. And now I thought that was a really cute embellishment. Here's one. Here's a signature. Just with different pages. Let's see, what do we got? We've got this from Disassembling a Temu Journal. I just used a piece of tan paper just because I like the color with it. Here's a notebook composition paper. Here's handwriting paper. Here's graph paper. And that's all. And then here's another one, and then I put little pockets in each one and little stuff. Another lace behind the tab. That's just a page. Another signature. They're all the same. More cuteness in the pockets. Here I used a little washi to clean up some sloppy glue. I told you this was my first time, so then I wasn't, I wasn't sure on some of it. And I don't think they're bad first attempts at all. And like I said, the paper was given to me. I just used my supplies. So that's why I'm not charging much. I just don't need a whole shelf full of all this. And since I'm done working with them, I just figured somebody else might like to have them. Okay, so this was her, I'll go through the titles in a minute. This was her Debutante. And I just did this, and I made a mini one. I am keeping it too. And then this is just a bookmark. And I printed my lines on the back. And then this has just got a lot of graph paper. Dot grid paper. I was real happy to find that dot grid paper. And then here's just another one. And then this one has graph. And then here's the second signature. And this one has that Temu paper. From Deconstruct. Oh, I guess it has 3 signatures. 1 dot grid, 1 graph. Oh, yeah, this is that paper. I forgot. I'm sorry. It's graph on one side and lined on the other. That's new paper, too. And then this one is Temu paper. And then this one is the lined and grid. And then this one is the dot grid, which is new paper. And I'm really happy to have the dot grid. I think that's cool. Okay? And then this is just a TN, but I did sew it in. And here I put that same, I had just a little bit of this. So then I've been using it on journals and along the spine. Okay? And then here's one of my mom's buttons. And I just adhered it on, secured it, reinforced it on the back side. And then here is a cute little altered paper clip, and again I put the lace on it. I thought that was cute. And then I used this mauve colored ribbon. Loved it. But I made 3, maybe? Yes, I made 3 of those, 1 for each signature. You can see here's 3 of them. And those are neatly done, and they're all altered paper clips. And then this was one of my mom's buttons, and like I said, I reinforced it on the back. And then how you do this is and I love this mauve ribbon that I found. I used it all. And then you just wrap this around that button. And then it has a little mauve colored tassel too. Isn't that sweet? I love it. Let's see if we wrap it this way, if it hangs down a little better. Yeah. Okay. Love that. Then I'm going to sell both of these with the ephemera. You can have the ephemera too. I don't care. I'm going to sell both of these together for $10. And these are the ephemera folders I made. And this one I put tabs in it. And then like I said, I glued the pocket to the page. So then we kind of lost a pocket. So then what I did was made a pull-out insert. So you still get your storage out of that pocket, so you don't lose the storage. And then I did one for both sides. And then I did something different on the other one. I'll show you. But like I said, I think these would be a good, well, something pretty just for you to use for yourself every day, of course, right? This one I put tabs in. I also think these would be a lovely presentation for like Happy Mail or a swap. Like I did a tag swap, and boy, I wish I would have made something like this to present them in. Or I just had some orders go out and I gave them enough a couple handfuls of ephemera, you know. I used a treat bag, but I surely could have used one of these, right? And then this one I did a little more to, and then it's got all of the ephemera in it. And then, like here, see? And then, oh, here's another one. But this Debutante kit came with an ephemera kit too. And then I have, I think there were like 36 tags. So many tags. And then like different shape tags. And just little mason jars that matched. And, oh, there's little frames. And then here I added the pocket, but I did them double-sided. And then it's got these, 2 of these. And one of them I fussy cut, and one of them I just left. And it's got 2 of these. Look how pretty. And I did that again for the other side. And that goes in the last pocket. And then on the other side, I have one frame that I fussy cut and one that I didn't. I love fussy cutting. So, and then these frames. And then that goes in the other side. So this is basically the inside piece is the same thing as this. But then I added another cover so I could add the pockets for smaller things. Because some of this stuff you wouldn't want, you know, like down in the pocket. You'd tear it up trying to get it all out. You know, so then for the tiny things, I made this for pockets, okay? Or you could use these pull-outs if it was tiny things that you didn't want to get lost down in a pocket and didn't want to tear the thing up trying to root them out, you know? Okay? So those are, oh, and then I did Velcro tab. So then that's closed. Okay, and this one I just tuck it in that first pocket. So that's how that one is. But these are all Debutante collection things. Then I just made all of these. Let's see if they're ready to open. I glued those. I mean, I have those gluing. So I just got these in, and I'm sorry, I don't know the name of the kit. Shabby, vintage Shabby, something. But what I did was I printed on the back. I made lines and a screen of one of her images. I think it's called Vintage Shabby. And it's like music notes and roses and stuff. But then this kit had, I don't know how many pages, 10, maybe 10. And then I just divided them up. And they are cardstock, so I didn't add pages to them because it's plenty thick. And I just divided it up and made it into 2. And then I made this flap. And then this back pocket. This is an envelope cover. One big envelope. So here's the back pocket. And then the flap. I'll show you that. And then I made covering pieces for the inside. And then here's a front pocket. And I did seal that one. And then I put one of her mason jars and then this pink envelope on the front. Isn't that a pretty color? And it's got a card in it. And then I kind of messed up. Nothing is upside down. But the journal, the envelope, and then, okay, let me finish this. So then I put a pull tab, and then this flap wraps around the front. And then there's Velcro. So that closes it. Okay? All right? So on this one, I was in my room. It was dark. It was late. And I was just assembling them. And what happened was, it's exactly the same. Okay? But the envelope was backwards. So this flap ended up on, this is like a big 9x12 or 9x12 envelope, you know? And then like a mailing envelope. A big letter size mailing envelope. See? And it ended up with this flap on the left. And I thought, that's okay. You know, my twin sister's left-handed. Why don't we call that a left-handed journal? You know, wouldn't that be easier for a left-handed person anyway? So I'm okay with it being upside down, and why don't we address left-handed people, right? So it's exactly the same. None of the pages are upside down. Just the envelope was backwards, which is fine. I think it's nice to make a left-handed journal. Okay? And again, this folds in, and then there's Velcro, and it will automatically latch. Okay? And I've got these two. Let's see if they're ready to open. This is her Good Housekeeping. Okay? And then I put one of the envelopes on front, just like I did here. I put one of the, she sent the Shabby whatever mason jars too. Here's a pocket. This is the same. It's a big envelope, but I cut the flap off of this one. And then this is her Good Housekeeping collection. And it is a lot of pages. And it came with a lot of ephemera, but I just didn't decorate it because I didn't want to decorate one and not the other. And I just, I've got 18 other projects going, so I just made them just like I did the other one, just with the pages. And then I printed these lines on the back. I printed this line on the back of all of them. And then I made these lines gold. But this is her Good Housekeeping collection. And then here's a pocket. And then I made this flap. I did this one different. I just made a flap to wrap around, and then it will automatically close. Okay? And this one is exactly the same. And I glued that. It's not wanting to come apart yet. So we're just going to wait on that. We're going to wait on that because that one's still wet glue. Because I just pinched them to, I always glue the Velcro dots down to give them more strength, and it takes a while to dry. Okay, so let's go through it. These, we're going to call them Good Housekeeping envelope journals. Okay? These, we're going to call Vintage Shabby envelope journals, and there's both left-handed and right-handed. This, we're going to call Debutante Ephemera folders, both of them. You get both of them, and the ephemera. Here is a Debutante TN. Traveler's Notebook is what it's called. TN. Okay? It's got 3 signatures, 3 different kinds of paper, lots of pretty ribbon, and pretty, those are, again, that was my mom's button. Love this mauve ribbon. This is Sweet Tooth paper sack journal, or just Sweet Tooth. Paper sack, paper bag. And then, like I said, all of these are in my playlist if you want to see more about them. This one is Fairies and Butterflies, I don't know, journal. We're calling it a journal because it's more a journal than an album. Fairies and Butterflies. One is Summer Days album because it is definitely an album. And like I said, I oriented this sideways so I could use her papers top and bottom without disturbing her image. And they all have pockets, and they all have inserts with double pockets. Okay? The inserts have pockets on both sides. And envelopes, and that is, I need to put something on that. See, that must have got a speck of, something on it. But see, that's why I'm only selling these for $10, and I think everybody can agree that this is well worth $50. Here's BeeYouTiful. This was one of my favorites because such a tall, skinny album was not easy to pull off. And then I was real glad I figured out to turn this one around so I didn't disturb her image. And I think I did a lot of cuteness to the pages. And like her kit came with all of it. But then, adding blue pages and adding yellow pages and printing my lines in blue and, here a little matchbook. Why not? These, I was really proud of this one. And it's got a lot of interesting features. Okay, and that's BeeYouTiful. This one is Honeybee, okay? I think there's one of them called Cute something. I don't remember. But we'll call this one, okay, this one's BeeYouTiful, this one's Honeybee. And it was my first album, and I did a pretty good job on it. It's really cute, guys. It's really cute. And this one doesn't look like a bad beginner. Here I did tear the Velcro, tear the Velcro away too soon. And I tore around it, so then I glued it back down, but you can still see it. It needs to be redone, I guess. And this has lots and lots of inserts. Lots of inserts. And they all have inserts inside the pockets too. And like I said, I have video on this, and then I shared Dahlia's tutorial. And it makes a lovely journal. And my sister is in the middle of making one. And why won't that go in there? I guess I'm not holding my mouth right, because we saw me just take it out. Okay. And then here, and then that comes out. And it's got inserts everywhere. And here it's got inserts in these 4, and then I put tabs on them in that pocket. I thought that was cute. Here's a waterfall. Here's this. So that's Honeybee. And this one, okay, we're just going to call it Be Happy, because that's what it says. You can see it says Be Happy. And it might be called something else. I'm sorry. And this was like that Fairies and Butterflies. You know, I tried to add as much writing space as possible. But see here, I used a lot of my fancy trim, you know, and there's my mom's buttons. So here's a butterfly, there's a die cut, and that was fussy cut around it too. And then this has the accordion, and then this has the, and here I've used fringe. I used heart trim that I don't have much of. I used bow trim. I used tiny, tiny palm. Here's another accordion. Here's more fringe. This, I thought that was fun, how everything looked like it matched. I love it, love it, love it when stuff looks like it was all made to go together, you know? And then here's 1, 2, 3 kinds of trim on the spine. And here's 1, 2, 3, 4 kinds of trim on the front. Alrighty. So just email me. My email is redpurse543@yahoo.com. It's also the same for Gmail. So I will have my email down below. I'll have my Facebook down below. Melissa Sue Connor. You can message me on Facebook. You can tell me which ones you like. You can look at my Decorate Your Life playlist. This and this are the only 2 things I'm keeping. I did give away a Country Red journal, or I sold one already. And everything else I have. And I'm keeping the mini TN2. It's just like the big one. But I'm keeping the mini TN2. So I'm keeping these 3 things. So pretty much, so neither Country Red journal will be available, but pretty much everything else, okay? Thanks so much for watching, guys. Love you, bye. And let me know.